In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to embroider on a tote bag using a single needle machine. Make sure to stick around till the end to watch all the best tips and tricks.
Attention all machine embroidery beginners. Are you struggling to hoop your fabrics, don't know what thread to use, or even what tension is? Sign up for our free Embroidery for Beginners course and become an expert in no time. Click the link in the description to get started.
For this project, we're going to use a tote bag. We're going to use a 5x7 embroidery hoop for our single needle embroidery machine. We're going to use some pins to hold our template down. We're also going to use some threads for the design. Because the tote canvas isn't stretchy, we can get away with using tearaway. So we'll be using some tearaway stabilizer. Now, if you're an embroidery beginner, you want to print out your template. That way you don't have to be guessing where your embroidery is going to be placed. This way you can print this out, cut it out, and ensure you have the design right in the center. We'll show you in a second how to place it. And last but not least, we're gonna use some scissors. These are for fabrics, and these will be to cut the template. Now, there are many methods of hooping a tote bag, but this is the way that I like doing it. And because this is a square tote bag, it's pretty simple to find the center. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to fold it halfway, make sure that it's as accurate as possible on both sides, and then I'll press down the middle, create a little crease in the middle, and then same thing for the half, as accurate as possible. Perfect. Looks something like that. This is where this comes in, and I'm just going to take out the rest by cutting this part right here. You'll see that this template that I'm using has an X and Y line, and that X and Y line is going to help me line it up to here when I pin it down. That way I'll get a perfect center for this design. Now we have our template cut out, and I can line it up as best as I can using the X and Y lines to what we just folded. That's about right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my pins and I'm just gonna pin it down. That's the top done, and now we can do the bottom. I just pin the bag through the back, so ensure that when you're pinning this, you only pin the top and not both of them. And the second one, try to not pin your fingers. Now it's pinned, and you can see how perfectly centered that is. Now the next step is to hoop your tote bag. But one of the things that we're gonna do beforehand is pre-gauge our hoop. And to do so, what you wanna do is grab your fabric and fold it in half. That is going to give you a pretty good estimate of the space in which you're gonna wanna have your hoop. Something like this looks pretty good. So what I'll do is I'm just going to unwind the hoop, and I'm going to pre-gauge it, and you can see right here there's a little bit of that space. That's the kind of space that I want for my hoop. So just try to pre-gauge your hoop. That way you don't have to be forcing it down or having to modify this once it's hooped. Now the last thing, and it's very important, is you want to make sure that you're hooping it the right way. Because if I were to put this hoop this way, the machine has to come in through here. This obviously is closed, so you won't be able to hoop it at all. So I already know that I have to hoop it this way so that I have access to put it in the machine. Now the next thing, we're just gonna grab some stabilizer. This is a cutaway, and again, because this fabric isn't stretchy, we can get away with using some tearaway. Putting a stabilizer down can be quite a pain. A cool little trick is to grab a little bit of painter's tape, and what you'll do is you're going to tape this part up here. You're gonna flip the hoop over and just tape this very little. As soon as you're done hooping, you're gonna take this off. So just putting it like that, and put it in the tote bag. Cool, trying to line it up best as I can. And then we're gonna grab this one, and you can see that it has some grooves there, so you can line it up as best as possible to your design. I'm going to press down from the top, try and hold it down from this side, make sure that it is taut, and with my palms, I'm going to slide it down and press it in. Now you saw that I didn't fight at all with the hoop itself. It went in very nicely, and because it's pretty tight, I don't have to go in and modify the hoop at all. Now all you do is just press it down a little bit more to ensure that that hoop won't go anywhere. Now that it's done, we can take this onto the embroidery machine. We have already prepared the machine, but before that, we have to set up the tote bag so that it can go in the machine. To do so, I'm gonna carefully turn this tote bag into a little bowl. That way it can go in the machine without any problems. I'm trying to make sure that I will not stitch through both sides at the same time. This is gonna be a pretty tight fit, so just be very careful when it comes to the way that you position your fabrics. Because this is a flatbed, it's a little trick here. Just take your time, make sure you don't unhoop by accident. All right, so you can see, guys, that's the hoop right now. So we can take off the tape that we put on previously. We can tighten it down a little bit more, that's pretty good. All right, so now we're gonna be putting the bag into the machine. Very carefully, try and hoop it through. Again, make sure that I keep that bowl and that the machine isn't going to stitch out on the back of the bag or on the top of it. So secure that hoop right there, press the lever down, and then just move everything out of the way as much as possible. This one I'm just gonna toss to this side, and over here I'm actually gonna be watching this myself, and you can normally get some clippers if you want. That way it clips this way and it's not gonna get in the way. I don't have those right now, so I'm gonna have to use my hands and keep it here and just ensure that I watch over it as it's embroidering. So the next thing, we wanna make sure that the design is centered. I'm going to press this button to bring that down, and on the machine, I can move where I want the design. So I only want it to go a little bit down there. That's pretty much centered. So now I can take the pins and the template off. Now that's gonna embroider perfectly in the center, and we can start embroidering.
For all you Embroidery Design Club members, be sure to print off the accompanying cheat sheet recipe card for this video. Don't forget that as an Embroidery Design Club member, you can instantly download all your cheat sheet recipe cards to help you quickly and easily embroider virtually anything. Plus, you'll also get access to over 30,000 embroidery design, bonus projects, free giveaways, live training, and more. Click the link in the description below to learn more about our fan favorite embroidery club now.
And there you go, guys. The embroidery is now done. We're gonna slowly take it off the machine, but because this is tearaway, what I'm gonna do is actually unhoop it straight from the machine and then just push it through like that. We ended up adding just a little bit more tape to hold it down, so we didn't have to keep our hands there 24/7. Now we can just take those tapes off, like so. Very nice. And we can rip this off. Now for the back, you can just trim these threads using some scissors. So you just trim the excess, and as you wash these, the rest of the tearaway will come off. Or you can, you know, manually take it off if you have the patience for it. I'm just gonna trim some of these threads, excess threads, with these awesome scissors. The design went pretty smoothly. The machine is super quiet, so it's just a pretty nice design to have made on a tote bag. And there you have it, guys. Another awesome design embroidered on a tote bag. Hopefully I don't forget this one in my car. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial. Let us know if you have any questions in the comments. In the meantime, watch this video right here, and we'll see you on the next embroidery video. Take care, and don't forget your bag in the car. Bye-bye.